Hello, folks, and welcome to not so sunny, not San Francisco. We're in Oakland, California at Fremont High School for this Week 2 game of the Western Ultimate League between the San Francisco Falcons and the Oregon Onyx. Overcast skies, been a bit of rain and windy conditions. Maybe the Onyx brought the weather down with them. Should be a fun one nonetheless. I'm Jenna Weiner here with Lawrence McKendall. Lawrence, Falcons last weekend, week 1, went 0-2, losses to the Utah Wild and the Arizona Sidewinders. They're looking to bounce back. The Onyx making their season debut, their franchise debut as an expansion team this year. Excited to see what we can see out of this team.
Well, for the Onyx, hey, good afternoon. Nice to be working with you, Jenna. It is a balmy, or I say overcast day here. I'm seeing the crowd slowly coming in. I see a lot of familiar faces from this San Francisco East Bay community. Back to your question about the Onyx, this is their first game, inaugural game for this franchise. I'm curious to see. It's a very rich ultimate frisbee community up in Oregon, but it draws from 3 big areas up there, Portland, Corvallis, and Eugene. And we've got a lot of players from the women's club team, Schwa, and we know a little bit about them. That's a very skilled team, and we've got a number of players coming from the mixed team up there, the administrators, Oregon administrators, and another successful team. That's what the research we have on my eyeball. So I'm curious to see continuity. Can they? How well does their offense work with a 7-second stall count? Can they get their O going quick? And on the other side, with the Falcons, this is a very skilled roster, up and down. So many skilled players that Jenna will be talking about throughout the game. I'm curious to see how they can get going on their third game. Can they get their O going? Can they get in the flow and really showcase for this community what we know they're able to do? Put up some points on the board and do some lockdown D. So I'm very curious to see how they make the adjustments rolling into their third game.
Yeah, in week 1 down in Arizona, one of the 3 showcase weekends that the Western Ultimate League will be putting on this season, as well as in San Diego and out in Utah. Falcons 0-2, a 13-15 loss to the Utah Wild after having a 6-1 lead for San Francisco at the end of the first quarter, just let down. And then against the host, Arizona Sidewinders. Sidewinders had the lead throughout the game, finished it off 18-12. For such a talented team, Falcons were a bit let down in their offense last weekend, scoring only 25 points, the fewest of any team down in the desert. They're really looking to get off to another hot start as they did against the Wild, against this, as you mentioned, team that probably has quite a bit of continuity from outside of the Western Ultimate League, but haven't seen anything from them on the field so far in this 2022 Western Ultimate League season. So it'll be interesting to see how the Onyx show up and what they can do against San Francisco. So we have some sun starting to peek through the clouds, but not quite there yet. Teams getting warmed up, crowd getting warmed up, filling in the San Francisco Bay Area community. We're in Oakland, California, but San Francisco Bay Area Ultimate Community, for those of you who aren't aware, is an absolute ultimate hub. Lawrence, what can we say about the strength of this San Francisco Ultimate scene, seeing its first ever Western Ultimate League game here at home?
Well, this Bay Area community has championship caliber players that have won Worlds, Beach Worlds, Callahan Award winners. It is a very rich tradition. The community's got a very robust youth community, and I'm expecting this community to show up, and they're starting to come in, which is exciting to see. right now, and I don't know if I'm actually answering your question, one of the things that I think is a challenge going to be for any team is the stall count. And so what's unusual is with this community that plays a lot of club, a lot of college, there's a 10-second stall count. And the teams that can figure out how to run a quicker O, get their offense in gear quicker, can definitely make a big difference. If you stub your toe on the 7-second stall count, can't get your O going, the defense is going to have its way with the other team. So that's one of the things I'm looking for here going into this game. How does this community, how did the Falcons, as well as the Onyx, how do they do with the 7-second stall count?
Absolutely. A couple of trends we saw in week 1. We'll see if they hold up in week 2. As you mentioned, that 7-second stall count, quite a number of uncontested stall calls last weekend because, again, as you mentioned, players getting adjusted to the different rule set, the Western Ultimate League, taking some of its rule set from USA Ultimate, from the Premier Ultimate League, from the American Ultimate Disc League, combining it into its own unique product that includes that 7-second stall count that really helps with a fun up-tempo style of play, but absolutely, if you're not used to it, it will get to you quickly. The other thing from last weekend, much discussed online, and as people were watching these streams live, which we encourage you, this is on tape delay, but if you had the chance to watch the Utah Wild facing off against Seattle Tempest, should have been a fun game and should continue to be a good one. From last weekend, one of the other trends we saw with the 7-second stall adjustment was quite a bit of dangerous plays. Number of dangerous plays that were that occurred out on the field, leading to actually, unfortunately, a number of player injuries, some fairly significant. Some discussion of why their uptick in dangerous plays in contact, hard contact that came up last weekend. Lawrence, any thoughts on what you think may have caused the uptick that we saw in contact last weekend?
Well, I mean, you've got a lot of talented players trying to make plays. You're trying to get critical stops. You end up putting yourself in those particular situations. Right now, the level of athleticism out there is amazing. It's just hopefully when the disc is in the air, a little bit more awareness for all people going for the disc are not going to put the other players in harm's way. I just think what you're going to find is there's athleticism that's looking for that opportunity to shine, and sometimes there's a casualty of that. But we're going to see what happens as it moves into this next week, in this next series of games.
Be interesting for sure to watch. Hopefully we can get some very clean ultimate despite some slightly gusty conditions. Should be, if anything, a slight thrower's wind. There has been rain earlier in the day, but it has mostly cleared up. Still cloudy skies, about 57 degrees here in Oakland, California. Again, we are at Fremont High School. Much appreciation to the folks at Fremont High for having us. Potential for some showers still later. Gray skies, dark clouds might roll in. Again, for Oregon, maybe they will just be right at home. Maybe they won't be phased whatsoever, but we shall see.
Exactly.
First game jitters, who's to say?
Well, we're going to see if jitters comes in with the Onyx, but they definitely, I think, as soon as they rolled in, these clouds started to appear, and they were definitely mysteriously right at home with this weather. If you've never been, I just want to point out, the Fremont Field in Oakland is immaculate. They did a remodel here. It is an amazing field with a Jumbotron, and I can't believe these facilities are amazing. So I've driven past here. I've actually refereed on these fields a number of years for soccer, and to come out here, I was just sort of muttering to myself, going, "What is here? This is amazing." So I just want to point that out as you see the simulcast just come up on Friday. This is an amazing facility.
So let's talk about the players who will be on said immaculate field. Start with the home team. Some key names to look out for. Number 18, Michelle McGee, out of the local Stanford Superfly College women's program. Most recently played her club ultimate out in the Midwest with Minneapolis Dragon Thrust, a mixed team, very successful one at that. We also have Han Chen, 5 assists on the weekend last week. Chen, an outstanding player, primarily played in the mixed division with local San Francisco Mischief, known for big throws, over the top, upside down throws as well. Just amazing play, an outstanding player, arguably one of the star players on a very star-studded San Francisco Falcons roster. And they also bring quite a bit of veteran talent, including Sally Mims, leading goal scorer last weekend with 6 goals on the weekend. Mims, veteran savvy, able to find the open lanes, get open up the line. Across the roster should be fun, as well as one more name to mention. Jesse O'Connor recently made the first set of folks to try out for the USA Ultimate World Games roster, part of the reigning national champion in the club women's division, San Francisco Fury. O'Connor in the backfield for San Francisco, going to be looking to lead this team to their first victory on the season. As for the Onyx, the visitors coming down from the Pacific Northwest, actually a couple of East Coast transplants to highlight. First, Claudia Tajima and Ali Steinfeld, both previously played out in Boston with the club women's team Boston Brute Squad, both national champions with Brute Squad, playing together out on the West Coast with the Onyx, as well as a number of players played with Oregon Schwa club women's team out of the Oregon area. Lots of experience there as well. Georgina Tetlow, Kimber Coles, Morgan Zajon. Just a number of the names that we'll see in this very connected Onyx roster.
I'm excited to see what happens here. We're in for a treat.
Players getting lined up for the introductions. Have some sun peeking through. Players definitely excited to get out on the field. Once before things get going, any predictions for how this game will end up? Any predictions on how we might win? What the score might be? What we might see out on the field today?
Well, how about this? I expect a lot of athleticism and energy. What's the over and under here?
Over under, given the games last weekend, games were coming in usually around the, I would say, 28 to 34, 35 range. I'd say over under probably at 32 and a half. Probably give the slight advantage to the hometown Falcons with that bounce back.
Yep.
Try and take advantage before the Onyx can get their feet under them. But it will be fun regardless. Sun shining now through the clouds. Even the weather knows that it's about to have a show out on the Fremont High School field again here in Oakland, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's going to be a fun, very excited Jenna Weiner here again. Lawrence McKendall.
Good afternoon. The sun is coming out right at introductions. What a nice coincidence. This is awesome. So let me ask you, Jenna. You talked about the over and under. Are there any other things that you think we need to be looking at? Any stories within the story?
Obviously, the continuity. Will it look like the Onyx has played together before? Obviously, first game in franchise history. And that Oregon Ultimate community, not that large, a lot of players who have spent a lot of time playing on the field together, but the adjustment to the 7-second stall. And again, hopefully we will not see this, but will there continue to be the same degree of dangerous play that we saw last weekend? Hopefully we can escape, get out of this game, as it were. Maybe not escape, not quite being the right word, without any real injuries. Hopefully we can have safe play all around.
Yeah, no, I definitely hope that is the case as well. Just about to introduce the hometown Falcons.
In terms of other storylines, I think given the short season, reminder that the Western Ultimate League has all of 7 teams in it, albeit all the way from Seattle Tempest through Oregon Onyx, the San Francisco Falcons, Los Angeles Astros, San Diego Super Blooms, Arizona Sidewinders, and the Utah Wild. So far, the Tempest top of the standings at 1-0, and they took down Arizona comprehensively last weekend. The Sidewinders, the hometown team last weekend for that series of games out in the desert. 2-1, Utah going 1-1, and the Falcons 0-2 in a season where each team will only get 6 games. And there will be 4 teams that make the final championship weekend. The Falcons in particular need to get wins and need to get them fast. Might as well do that when you're at home.
Yes, I forgot. I want to definitely mention that with such a short season, every game is precious, and coming down to 0 makes this a must win. This is a must win, and a great way to get off to Schneid is home cooking.
Home cooking against a brand new team sounds like a potential recipe for success, but as we saw back at the Winter Cup in 2021, and as we saw even last weekend with the Sidewinders, who had gone winless at the Winter Cup, the end of 2021, winning 2 games. It'd be interesting to see how the results pan out here. Can the Onyx bring a surprise? I think it's entirely possible.
Absolutely. It was very interesting. You can catch the energy. I was watching Malika Anderson go over some strategy for the game. A lot of energy. They actually went over for a new cheer. A lot of energy. Really like what I saw as they were warming up. This is definitely going to translate to a fun game for the Falcons.
Anderson, one of the 3 coaches for the San Francisco Falcons, each team with their own coaching staffs hailing from that area. Again, both the Oregon Ultimate scene and the San Francisco Bay Area Ultimate scene ripe with talent. We're excited to see it out on the pro field for Oregon. The first time we will see the Onyx take the field for the Falcons, continuing to hope for some outstanding performances, as we've already started to see from them. But boy, if you're a San Francisco Falcons fan, really hope that your team can get going, get into gear in this 3rd game of the season. After this game, they will already be halfway through their schedule because, again, 6-game season, it will fly by.
I want to give some love to the other coaches. That Sean Webb was there. We have Manisha Daryani and Alden Fletcher, also a group of the coaches that round out the coaching staff for the Falcons.
If you want to support these teams, you can do so by not only showing up to the games, but you can also purchase some of the merchandise. It's very clean looking uniforms that we have for both Oregon and San Francisco. If you want your own Western Ultimate League merchandise, you can go to breakmark.com/western-ultimate-league. Get your own jerseys, your own discs that are Onyx and Falcons branded. If if you don't have a team in this fight, well, if you want maybe the favorites who have underperformed looking to bounce back, the Falcons might be your choice if you're looking to support a brand new team looking to make a splash in their very first season as a franchise. Then the Onyx might be your pick. Go to breakmark.com/western-ultimate-league to get your own Western Ultimate League merch.
Nice shout out on that one, Jenna. The merch is beautiful. You know, I have a Falcons jersey on order, but the Onyx, beautiful logo. They all up and down the league have beautiful graphics. So don't just buy one, buy a few. And Casual Friday, rock the WUL to work or that next Zoom call.
Game is about to get underway here. Teams have sent out their starting 7. There is sunshine on the fields, but dark clouds loom overhead. The weather, will it prove to be a factor or not? We will see. There is just a spot of wind. It's moving left to right across your screen. You can probably see from the corner flags and the flags on top of the football uprights. So the Falcons will be starting going downwind. They will be starting on offense on the left-hand side of your screen in white. The Onyx in black on the right-hand side of your screen. Going to be playing some downwind defense. Lawrence, we saw both of these teams warming up their zone defenses. You think Oregon will pull it out on this very first point?
That's a great question. I know with this wind, let's see, it is light. Let's see if they come out. They're coming down in a way. No, it looked like they were coming down in the zone. No, they are going person. All the way.
Person defense initially.
Falcons
O'Connor
are on the attack.
Connor
Very
Anderson
nice.
working it. Chew towards the center of the field now. Just Anderson wide across the field. That's Mims on the far side, on the far cone. 5 yards out, looking for a reset.
Falcons look real comfortable.
Opts for a little high release, but a stall call. There we go. First one of the game on the very first point. Stall called on Mims, trying to hit the up line, cutting Han Chen. But it stands as a goal. Falcons! Falcons on the board first. They score on offense, downwind. 1-0 to the hometown hosts, Falcons over the Onyx.
That was beautiful. They attacked quick. They looked in flow and comfortable. And this is a recipe for success moving through. Now let's see who shows up on defense. If the defense can impose their will and punch it in, that'd be a nice start for the Falcons.
Falcons, nice offensive movement initially. O'Connor and Anderson in the backfield in particular, bouncing it back and forth. Applegate was the outlet on that throw up the line on the near sideline before it got across the field to Mims. And we did see the stall call, but it was not upheld. Maybe Onyx defender getting a little bit too quick even for a 7-second stall. And we have the next pull going up. Onyx looking to score their first offensive point in franchise history.
Get a first look at the Onyx. They're shooting deep. They like that matchup.
Steinfeld all day in the deep space alley. Steinfeld floats it.
Oh, 2 big treetop catches.
That's Kimber Coles with the goal for the Onyx. They are on the board. First offensive point in franchise history. A success. We're all tied up 1-1.
Those were 2 beautiful passes. Very confident. I guess I like to say know thy receiver, and they do. They put it out there. They like the matchup. They like the height differential, and it came down with a great catch.
Steinfeld, a large target downfield. Seems like that was almost drawn up from the beginning. One throw to the center, immediately looking at Steinfeld. Just trust, so much trust to find Coles. Coles able to elevate for the grab. These points coming quick and fast, only 60 seconds between each point in the Western Ultimate League rules. 7-second stall, 60 seconds between points makes for a very fun, very fast-paced game.
Steinfeld making her presence known immediately. And I think that might be a play that's going to happen a lot. Which means if it doesn't, they have Oregon has a very large confidence in their D.
Pull from Oregon, sails out of bounds. Connor with the center.
We see the first look at a zone.
Anderson just drops it, trying to find Natasha Wan in the backfield. Quick mistake gives Onyx a short field. Tajima picking up the disc.
They're running vert. Onyx running vert.
On the far sideline, centering pass. Chen in the area, but Tajima able to hold her off. Upside down throw over the top. That's an Onyx score. That's an Onyx break. They break upwind for the score. Oregon, JC Jones.
Hammer time. That was beautiful. Oregon, I think, looks very comfortable. They're quite at home in the red zone. They go into vert quickly, and they execute quite nicely. So we're going to see what happens. How will the Falcons respond?
Falcons just making an unforced error there. Anderson trying to find Juan, 3 handlers back in that space, and it just ends up falling to the ground. Unclear if it maybe is a slightly damp disc or just an unforced error, early game jitters. But the mistake from Anderson gives Onyx the short field, and they take advantage. Next pull already coming up.
They're coming down. I'm predicting another Z. It is a 4-person Z.
Now there's zone look. Chen in the backfield this time, operating with Connor and Mims. Drops back into the handler space. Falcons on the near sideline, trying to work against the 4-person cup look that Onyx have found. Chu popping in. Falcons doing a nice job of moving the disc. Maybe too quickly, but Chen able to maintain possession. Near sideline goes over the top.
Nice scuba.
It's Megan Liu back towards the far sideline. Vivian Chu, far sideline, looking up the field. Onyx continue to stay in that zone look. Falcons looking mostly patient. Side throw to Mims.
All right, they're going to swing it. Let's see. They're going right back down the 4 side. Red zone for the Falcons. Let's see what happens here.
Mims with the disc. They're trapped on the far sideline. O'Connor looking for reset. Mims still there. They are just on the edge of the end zone on that far sideline. Back to Chen, trying to reset it. Falcons have moved it vast majority of the length of the field. Little up by their blocked by the Onyx. They will have another break opportunity.
Onyx forced him into a small window throw. They were not allowing the Falcons to go to the near side of the field.
Takesha Tarvin with the block, one of the 2 Tarvins, and Steinfeld there able to save it for Oregon. Center of the field, swinging towards the near sideline. Oregon moving quickly with that 7-second stall. Steinfeld near sideline, marked by Chen. That'll be a fun matchup to watch. Swinging it round. It's Turner.
Onyx look very comfortable in their O.
Near sideline, back to Turner, center of the field. Falcons playing person defense. Onyx able to maintain possession and getting bailed out. Steinfeld, that's twice that she's come up with blocking saves. And Vivian Chu.
Big stop.
Huge layout block.
Yes. You can hear the audience of loud approval. Nice athleticism.
More from the crowd for Chu's layout block to give San Francisco another chance. O'Connor, far sideline, finds Chu all the way across the field.
Fine.
near sideline. Bozzini with it. Chu still there. Inside throw, but drop. Falcons moving too quickly potentially.
Just a little out of sync, just a little. They were in flow. It was really nice to see. Onyx back on the attack.
Chu tries to get in on the action. Steinfeld able to hold on. Chris Bullier with disc up towards center of the field. Back to Steinfeld. Steinfeld takes timeout. Bit of a back and forth point. Onyx with another opportunity to break. About 50 yards outside of the end zone.
What are you thinking about this first few points, Jenna?
Definitely seeing a lot of energy. Definitely seeing a lot of enthusiasm. Both teams looking like they're in the timeout, trying to talk things out. Maybe even get some substitutions potentially. In the Western, ultimately, you are able to make substitutions during timeouts. The zone look from Oregon has looked pretty successful so far, but the Falcons largely have been able to work against it.
No, I agree. It looks like when the Falcons get in their flow and people are popping in and out of the cup, they're great. It's just that one slight miscue. I want to see them when they get into the red zone. Can they swing it across the field and outside of the cup? This four-person cup. Very unique look to see a four-person cup. I think that's a byproduct of the 7-second stall count. Really tormenting and putting a lot of pressure on the handlers.
Disc about to come back into play. Falcons not opting to go into a zone look. And it's Georgina Tetlow starting with the disc for the Onyx. Swinging it towards the far sideline. Coles with the disc. Recipient of that first goal. Reset back. Coming towards the near sideline. Up the line. That's a goal for the Onyx. That is back-to-back breaks. And it's Morgan Zajon with the goal for Oregon. They lead San Francisco 3-1.
Onyx look very, very comfortable in the red zone. I like, it's really interesting when a team gets in the red zone and they breathe it like it's air. It's like, we're comfortable here. This is where we want to be. And they just run their progression. There's no rush. It flows. It's a beautiful thing. Really nice red zone.
Things working well for the Onyx so far. That's the kind of hot start you'd like to see in your franchise opener. Definitely some chemistry that I think we are starting to see already from this Oregon team. Steinfeld, Zajon, Coles, all veteran players for the Onyx, all coming up with big plays so far.
Nice pull out to the 35.
Anderson centering to O'Connor. Near sideline, Chu. Been very active in the handler space. Gets it to Mims. Back to Chu. Really trying to work it. Still near sideline, Mims centering.
Nice shoestring.
To O'Connor. Calls of potentially down. Called up by the observer.
Nice shoestring grab.
Anderson, O'Connor. Falcons handlers really trying to work it against the zone look. Still a four-person mark from Oregon up the line. Mims towing it inbounds from Lou. Back to Lou, far sideline. Centering to Chu. Tries to be fancy, get the scooper off. Chu not able to. That's another turnover for the Falcons and another break opportunity for Oregon.
You know, you go down the field in a zone O, and Onyx are committed to the zone O all the way to the red zone. Big put.
Putting it up. Mims making sure that one hits the turf. Falcons able to reset. Anderson, center of the field, looking to get it moving.
The same discipline that got you down there, I would think that the Falcons would keep that discipline once they get to the red zone, but something breaks down a little bit. Let's see if they can get back in the flow again.
Chew all over the handler space for the Falcons. Lou up the line near sideline. Sends it back towards the center of the field, towards Chew.
They're in person now, and there you go.
Up the line, not quite in, though, for the Falcons, trying to get it, and it's Chen with the goal. Audrey Sheehy with the assist. Falcons able to get back on the board. Now down 3-2 to Oregon.
Nicely done. I'm surprised that the Onyx did not stay in their zone. It seemed to bear fruit every time they stay consistently all the way through the red zone. We'll see if they continue to do not go back to a person in the red zone if they stay with that. So here's a question for you. Do you think the Falcons are going to implement a 4-person cub? Are they committed to the person D?
Going upwind with the Onyx about to go on offense downwind, as the wind has, I'd say, largely remained the same. Looks like it's maybe a bit more of a crosswind at the moment from the near sideline to the far sideline of the field, and a short pull from the Falcons will give Oregon just a half a field to work with. Tetlow picking up the disc to start.
We're seeing a 4-person cup, so it's the Falcons are trying their hand at a zone.
Onyx able to work it from near sideline towards the far sideline. Steinfeld centering it back. Oregon swinging it well.
The Onyx realize as soon as they're outside of the cup, they've got all this real estate to attack down the sidelines.
Runzo and Tetlow playing back and forth near sideline. 10 yards out, up the line, still on the near sideline. Just trying to punch it in, able to. Lots of pressure, lots of bodies, doesn't matter. Oregon with the score, 4-2, they lead San Francisco.
Oregon again looking very comfortable.
With the goal for Oregon Onyx. Oregon 4, Falcons 2.
At halftime, I think we're going to be interviewing the Falcon mascot, right? Jenna's looking at me like, what? That's off script. So.
Falcons with a fun mascot making the rounds through the stands at Fremont High School here in Oakland, California. Now very much overcast, guys. We had a spot of sunshine for the start. Not the case anymore, but the stands are still filled up. People in their jackets, maybe expecting some rain as we had earlier in the day. But so far, Onyx looking good. Scoring downwind, largely with an upwind break thrown in there as well. 4-2 advantage. So we have about 3 minutes, 3:15 left on the clock in the first quarter. Western ultimately played in quarters, and at the end of each quarter, including the fourth quarter, the team who has possession when the clock hits zeros will be allowed to finish out the possession, whether it results in a score or a turnover. Falcons handlers moving it mostly in the center of the field, and it bounces off the hands of O'Connor on the pass from Juan. Again, an unforced error from the Falcons handler gives Onyx a short field.
The unforced errors are not ideal. Big shot up. Oh, great D.
Block by Trisha Anderson
Nice.
to deny the goal for the Onyx. Good block there. San Francisco handler working hard to get it back so she can walk it up and get that San Francisco offense moving again. Still working against that zone look from the Onyx.
So the Falcons can feed off the energy of the crowd and that great D.
Anderson, Juan, and O'Connor operating as the 3 handlers back for the Falcons. Mostly in the center of the field. Anderson looks towards the near sideline, doesn't like the option.
It's a 3-person, it's a malleable 3-person cup.
Juan, Anderson, O'Connor content to hang out. Han Chen looping back to give a little assist. Mix things up a little bit with her outstanding array of throws.
The objective of a zone D is a lot of passes. So it really challenges the offense to be poised and make solid throws.
Juan able to find the space through the cup. Now has it back towards this near sideline. Anderson swinging across the field. And back
Good
towards the
find.
middle, Lou.
Nice find. Falcons in the red zone.
Juan able to get it. Anderson, center of the field, looks to get towards that far sideline, unable to. Resets it. Far sideline, that's Connie Chan. Acting as the reset option for San Francisco. Now popping out deep, and it's still O'Connor and Lou, and O'Connor and Juan and Anderson. My apologies.
Onyx still committed to the zone.
Anderson, Juan, center of the field. Lou, near sideline, up the line. Not quite in. O'Connor.
Very poised. Very nice.
Resets to Anderson.
Hammer!
Connor.
Time! Boom!
Caught by Connie Chan. That's a goal for the Falcons. Score is now 4-3. The hosts still trail Oregon, but there are 8 seconds left on the first quarter clock. So if Oregon, who will be receiving the next pull, can maintain possession for the next 8 seconds of play, they will be able to finish out that possession, whether it results in a score or a turnover. So we're looking at either in all likelihood, 5-3 first quarter Oregon advantage, or 4-3 simple 1-point advantage to the visitors.
I want to go back to that Falcons score. They went coast to coast. It's very interesting when you see a team get comfortable. They're starting to get in sync. They move down and very patient. It was a lovely score. It was great. It was great to see. So let's see what happens. Do the Onyx come up with a big throw deep to Steinfeld? Do they have a last second score? Now, what's interesting about this is just because the clock runs out, the play continues. So you don't need to make a hasty last second throw.
Onyx will be able to maintain possession through and do center of the field. Grabbed by Danny Runzo.
Oh, there
But
you
a
go.
block.
Great stop.
Swinnerton. Layout block from Katie Swinnerton for the Falcons ends the first quarter, prevents the Onyx score down win. That will take us to the quarter break. The visitors, Oregon Onyx, leading the hometown San Francisco Falcons 4-3.
What was interesting about that point was psychologically it should have been just a regular point because you're not going against time winding down. Yet Oregon seemed a little tighter in that one, that they were sort of out of sorts. So that was very interesting psychologically. It's like, no, just run your O. Run your O. The Falcons stepped up, created pressure. It was a great D by Swinnerton.
In their very first game, their debut season, I think it makes some sense in their very first quarter of their first game. It makes sense. The Onyx would have some jitters getting used to the idea of having quarters, of being able to maintain possession throughout the final point once they have the disc when the clock hits zeros, and looked pretty good. But Swinnerton coming up big for the Falcons to deny that goal, keep the deficit at 1. Lawrence, what did you see in that first quarter that the teams will be looking to build off of, or for the Falcons look to rebound from?
I saw a lot of fun ultimate. I saw 2 teams. One came out in sync. The other one, the Falcons. So one, let me clarify. The Onyx came out, looked like they were in sync. A couple of unforced errors on the Falcons, but the Falcons righted the ship and playing the type of ultimate that I'm expecting from them, and I know the coaches are too, as well as the team. This is the team that we need to put out on the field. So I'm very curious. I think all the jitters are away. We're ready to roll in. It's a 0-0 quarter right now, and I'm really curious to see how this quarter is. I think both teams have showed their strengths. We'll see what happens for the second quarter. Very curious. Excited to see.
So far, tight game in the home opener for the San Francisco Falcons. As you mentioned, a couple of unforced errors out of their veteran handler group. If they can get rid of those, they will be right back in this game. As it stands, only a 1-point deficit, so certainly nothing that they can't make up. But Falcons week 1 down initially to the Sidewinders, never able to come back up big early against the Wild and then let the lead slip. How, for me, question, how will the Falcons maintain their energy levels, maintain their level play throughout the game, and not have a second quarter, second half letdown like we saw in week 1?
Well, I mean, part of that is you got this terrific home crowd, and it's home cooking. I don't think that's going to happen. Right now, it's just small micro focuses. You just prevent the doinks that if they hit your hand, you've got to grab that disc. The simple ones, those are the ones that are costly. That can really sort of be a drive killer. Other than that, just you've got ballers up and down on both teams, especially the Falcons. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Beautiful D.
Huge run through block, but a foul called. That's Ali Suji making the attempt. Number 11 on number 11. This Bullier. Gonna talk it out. Might go to the observers. Western Ultimate League playing with observed rules. Contested foul call. Disc will go back. Danny Runzo with the disc. Contested foul will stay. With Chris Bullier for Onyx. Looks deep, unable to, and it's off the hands.
This is where the Falcons, let's see, they can capitalize. They're in flow. Let's see their DO happen. Boom. They got options. They look really comfortable.
Went with the disc.
Nice.
Claudia
IO.
Vasquez on the end zone line. Opts to reset it back to McGee. Sliding grab. Falcons moving quickly, but moving efficiently. Chang. Back to Vasquez. Back to Chang. That's a goal. That's a break for San Francisco. We are all tied up 4-4 with the break from the Falcons.
Wow, very nice. That is the type of O the Falcons know they're capable of, and there you are. It was a beautiful point. Nice D, a lot of energy. So it's going to be interesting.
If your ticket is read out,
Onyx are running in now. I believe San Francisco are in the Onyx head. Let's see how the Onyx perform. Is this like no big deal? It's just 1 point. We're back at it, or are they going to be a little bit more nervous, a little bit more jitters?
139.
So just bouncing off the hands of players from both teams that time from Oregon. And they are going to get a chance to come a bit downwind once again with their offensive line. Well, from San Francisco to the far sideline, floats out of bounds, so this will be put back into play in the center of the field. Becky Zip going over to pick up the disc to put it back into play for Oregon. Oregon setting up in a vertical stack.
Nice and cut. Run through D.
Block right away. Claire Toth with the block. San Francisco showing a lot of energy. Swinnerton near sideline. McGee diving grab to save it. Still on the near sideline. Toth going up for the grab. When towards the center of the field, Swinnerton around for the reset.
Falcons O, D-line O are in flow.
Swinnerton, big throw, Blady throw. Toth on the end zone line. Touchy throw to Sheehy. That's a Falcons break. That is the Falcons lead 5-4. They lead the Onyx on back-to-back breaks 5-4.
Fans are definitely showing their approval on that point. That was an amazing point. Run through D. Falcons went on the attack. That was great. Great to see. So again, I pose the question. Let's see how the Onyx respond with this new energy from the fans, feeding the team and vice versa.
Again, ticket number 158.
Saw two back-to-back breaks for the Onyx in the first quarter. In the second quarter, San Francisco has responded with back-to-back breaks of their own to open it up, take that 5-4 lead.
Well, let's see if the Falcons run down and contest the first pull. Let's see if they got their foot on the gas.
Clear Toth with the run-through block on that last point. At our college ultimate locally at Cal with the Pie Queens, showing off some defensive chops. Excited to see her play the rest of the field. And it's immediate turnover. Bazzini able to just get it. Some miscommunication from the Onyx. Bazzini on the near sideline, up the line. Applegate up the line. Vasquez not quite in. Crowd reacts because they thought it was in, but Vasquez with the disc decides to go over the top, but is unable to find a receiver. So the Falcons get a very quick opportunity to break once again, but unable to do so. The turnover right on the end zone line will give Oregon another chance on offense.
Was that a high stall count situation? It was a visionary throw. Maybe she saw something that was not there. But I like the energy all the way through. Let's see if Falcons can do it again. Nice dig, nice catch by Oregon.
Low throw from the Onyx. Disc in the center of the field. Over the top to the far sideline. Tetlow back to the center of the field.
The Falcons are playing tight D. Oregon's trying to find, they're airing it out. Big deep.
Big hug, looking for Zajon, but Applegate able to establish position, get the block, and Vasquez pick up the disc. Both teams moving pretty quickly. Swernerton with the disc on the far sideline. Timeout taken from the sideline. Falcons with the disc with an opportunity to break again. What we've seen from the home team so far in the second quarter that has allowed them to notch a couple of breaks and have another opportunity for a third straight one.
You know, what's really interesting is how energy shifts. The energy of the Falcons, they're on their toes, they're bouncing around, they're light, they're seeing the whole field, and they know they have the Onyx a little jittery right now. When the Onyx play their game and the lights are on, like they came out the first point, they're a very, very exciting, lethal team to play. But right now, Onyx, you can see them hesitate, little hesitation on their throws. Let's see what happens coming out of this timeout. What the Falcons have in store. Can they go back down the field and score?
San Francisco taking full advantage of that rule that you're able to substitute as many players as you want. That is a defensive point that they've now put on the vast majority of their starting offensive line. Jesse O'Connor, Vivian Chu, Han Chen, Sally Mims, all out on the field alongside Patricia Anderson back in the handler space, trying to take full advantage of this break opportunity, putting their offensive line on to simply play some offense. Working it back to the middle of the field. Far sideline, Lou with it. Bounces it back to O'Connor. Anderson, O'Connor. Working against that Oregon zone.
Oh, nice layout bid. Tried to deep. Came up short. A lot of lateral movement. Oregon's fine with that. Can San Francisco pierce the cup?
Lou, far sideline to Mims. Mims coming back from that cutting space. Same with Lou, inside throw. Mims a little bit tripped up. Everyone is fine though, and the disc is quickly back in the hands of Anderson in the middle of the field. And now to the near sideline, Ajadari to Anderson, cross the field. Lou.
Nobody's there to take advantage of that one. Nice poise. Stay with it.
Floaty throw. O'Connor tries to track it down just too much. Maybe just got caught in the wind. A bit of a crosswind coming from the near sideline to the far sideline. That throw into the wind, just floating out of O'Connor's reach. Onyx centering it. The opportunity to hold here on this point against the Falcons offensive line.
Oregon in flow.
Far sideline, 5 yards out.
Nice.
Not quite in.
Nice dink.
Able to get it. Great inside cut for the score. That's Aubrey Bishop for the Oregon score. They now have tied it up 5-all.
Watching Oregon warm up, they did exactly those little dink down the lines, down the end zone near the cones. Those dinks looked like magic. You could see them get in sync. We're familiar with this play. We're familiar with this space. They got in the sync. They got in the flow. And they punched it in with ease.
Well, to take advantage of the floated throw from the Falcons, floated to that near sideline into the wind and out of O'Connor's reach. Bursting up the line, cut from Bishop for Oregon score. Now they get a chance to go back on defense. Going a bit downwind, likely to see, I think, that zone look that they have continued to throw out of the rain-soaked Pacific Northwest.
Just a reminder,
The Onyx feeling pretty comfortable with that zone.
Knotted at 5, little under 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Exciting contest so far.
Indeed, we do see the zone. Swinnerton and O'Connor working it on the far sideline. San Francisco crossing their lines over a bit. So O'Connor and Swinnerton try and work it. Different lines. Hammer throw out of the reach of Han Chen. Unable to bid for it. Tajima picking it up. Opting to not throw the immediate look. Emily Flanders with the disc. Call back at the disc.
What was that call? I don't know that gesture.
Hai Chan on the mark against Emily Flanders. Just put back into play. Tajima.
Nice around. Nice break throw. Let's see.
Near sideline. Gets it to the middle of the field. Goes across the field. Tajima gets it back. But just bounces off the hands of Kristen Roberts. San Francisco gets the disc moving quick once again.
If San Francisco can get to the other side of the field outside of this cup, there is a lot of real estate to take advantage of. Let's see if they can. They're going back to the other side. Boom. In the middle. Nice. On the attack.
Swinnerton heard exactly that. Got to Chen. Falcons able to work it up through the middle of the field, but still a floaty throw. Hai Chan to Han Chen on the near sideline. Onyx content to stay in the zone. Chen finds Chan. Up the line to one. Gets defense pressure. Lou wide open. San Francisco able to work it past the Oregon Cup. Audrey Sheehy on the far sideline.
This is going to be critical. How do they respond in the red zone in a 4-person cup? Last time they threw into a small window for a turn.
This time a timeout is taken.
Good call.
Game is all tied up at 5-all. We are just under 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Just under 4 minutes left in this first half. Fun game so far, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. Very exciting. I'm standing up, I'm standing down, I'm sitting down. I'm excited. The facilities here at Fremont Field are wonderful. And this is an exciting game to watch. I'm enjoying it. So what are you seeing out there? I mean, in the second quarter, is it playing out as you thought?
I think both teams are still trying to get settled in. Both teams moving fairly quickly. Obviously, there is a 7-second stall. Sometimes it feels like it's even a 5-second stall out on the field. And we are seeing a few unforced errors for the Onyx in their first game in franchise history. Maybe a little bit more understandable than this Falcons team. 2 games last weekend, albeit both losses. I think they might be a little bit settled in, but also notably, the teams aren't always bringing the exact same roster to every single game. They are having some players come in and out of their rosters. For the Falcons in particular, they do not have the defensive prowess of Shayla Harris, who racked up 4 blocks last weekend. She's unavailable for this game. But other folks are filling in, and that's a score for Audrey Shee. For the Falcons goal, they now lead Oregon 6-5.
That was a solid timeout. They figured it out. They ran their red zone. Oh, beautiful. Very nicely done.
She just able to find the space in the middle for the Falcons to get her the disc. She, a very capable downfield receiver, able to find those open spaces for her handlers to find, and out of the timeout, able to make it work to She for the score for the Falcons. Solid play so far, but great defensive plays across the board. Saw some layout bids from Oregon in particular, trying to get the block on the far sideline. The Falcons able to hold on, now putting the next pull up as we approach 3.5 minutes left in the first half.
What was that call? Is that a strip? Strip's called.
Uncontested foul call. Disc in the hands of Chris Bullier. Marked by Jacqueline Wen. Twice to Zayjan. Marked by Suji. Middle of the field.
Oregon's getting comfortable. You can see it.
Onyx trying to work those inside lanes. Bullier up the line, diving grab. A contested bid. Lynn against Coles. That's a fun matchup of 2 outstanding players. Sharon Lynn able to put enough pressure on Kimber Coles to prevent the catch. Case Swinton putting that disc into play for the disc wings to the near sideline. Moreau to Suji. Now back to McGee.
Oh, big fake. Elected to go back to McGee.
Swinton thought about it. Now far sideline, man. Moreau up the line to Sharon Lynn. Lynn putting it.
Oh,
Gorgeous touch. Sharon Lynn to Eliza Chang. That's a Falcons goal. They now have a 2-score advantage over Oregon.
Electric.
7-5.
Very nice. Nice run. I love the flow. The fluidity on that point was great. They got the matchup they liked downfield, and that was on the money. Beautiful.
Sharon Lynn came up with a number of highlight plays and some highlight blocks back at the Winter Cup in December. Comes up with, I would say, I would give her credit for the block, even if it was just defensive pressure there against Coles. Able to force the turnover. And then the Falcons taking full use of the width of the field, swinging it from far sideline to near sideline and back, and then a touchy throw. Lynn with the block, Lynn with the assist up to Eliza Chang. Nice touch in the wind.
That was a really nice layout bid for that score, for that attempted score on the goal line. But part of that miss was a tough D layout as well.
Onyx back on offense, looking to get back into the game after having that initial lead. Unmarked player, far sideline. Emily Flanders gets it inside. Tajima, center of the field for Oregon. Couple of hump fakes, inside throw once again, blocked. Suji had that inside lane covered all day.
The audience shows their approval. It was great. Falcons on the attack.
Swearingen once again putting into play.
Great hands. That was nice.
Fantastic grab by Vasquez. Falcons again starting to make even better use of the full width of the field. Applegate to Ajadari. Bazzini inside center of the field now. Chan thought about it for the hook to Applegate. Opts for just the underthrow instead. Suji busting deep.
Wow, a level of restraint on that one. Very good.
Suji, Vasquez, Ajdari. San Francisco's offense moving quickly, and it's a block by Oregon. Rachel Egan getting the D on Katie Swinnerton.
It's that fine line that you don't want to rush it, and then 2 seconds go by and it turns out to be a high stall count, low percentage throw. It really is trying to get that disc moving without being too hasty or too last second. There's definitely a sweet spot.
Another timeout taken by Oregon. With only 42 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter. Maybe trying to look to get their offensive line, their most veteran, patient players out on the field in order to use the full 42 seconds, ensure that they have the final possession of this first half. Try and get the deficit back to 1.
So let me clarify something on this end of time for a quarter. If there's a turn, but the disc doesn't touch the ground, the play is still live.
I think as long as there's any turnover, any change in possession.
Change of possession, point is over?
As far as I know.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Per the rule set, any change in possession will end the quarter. And so it is a must with 42 seconds left on the clock if you are the Onyx to ensure that you maintain possession and do not give the Falcons any opportunity to go down and score on their own, extend this lead even further.
Thank you for that clarification. Onyx showing vert.
Oregon again trying to work the inside lane. Opts to instead go to the center of the field. Danny Runzo.
Big look downfield. It is a turn. 27 seconds left.
Stall called, though, by Sharon Lynn on Danny Runzo. That throw hoisted up. Contested stall. Disc will stay. McGee with the disc for the Falcons. 23 seconds left. They'll have a chance to score to extend that lead to 8-5. They can finish out possession. Chang able to hold, make the grab under pressure, but back to Onyx. Time ticking. 8, 6. Center of the field, Tetlow. Near sideline, sliding grab by Coles to save possession.
Time has expired.
Time has expired. However, there is a stall call. Chang. No stall is ruled to have been called properly by the observer, so the disc will go back to Coles. Time has expired. However, the Onyx will be able to finish out this possession until they score or until there is a turnover.
I think this was really to their advantage. They were able to get that clarification and time had expired, so it's a different mindset than trying to run your O as time is winding down.
Center of the field, layout bid. Sajon able to get it anyway.
There you go.
Disc up the line for the Oregon score. They're able to convert that possession after a couple of quick turnovers. Oregon able to bring the game back within 1. They trail the hosts, San Francisco Falcons, 7-6.
7-6.
Welcome back from our halftime break, folks. Lights are coming on. Dark skies are still out there, but so far, not too much rain. Still a touch of wind. Hometown San Francisco Falcons holding a 7-6 halftime lead over the Oregon Onyx. We are in Oakland, California, Fremont High School for week 2 of the Western Ultimate League. I'm Jenna Weiner in the booth with Lawrence McKendall. Lawrence, the Onyx first quarter lead, then the Falcons came back. What can we expect to see from these teams, and what will hopefully be another exciting back and forth second half?
Well, the Onyx, I'm curious to see what their adjustments will be. I think the Falcons found their groove. They just need to continue to rinse and repeat. They're going to be on O. Let's see what happens. They go down. Are they going to continue to see a zone look?
Pull from the Onyx, floats out of play, almost touched some folks on the sideline, but not an issue as Jesse O'Connor jogs to the center of the field to put the disc into play for the Falcons. O'Connor working the backfield again with Anderson and Chu, but it's Megan Liu centering to O'Connor towards the near sideline. Inside throw from Chu to O'Connor. Falcons moving quickly initially. Liu, far sideline. Han Chen hasn't maybe been as well as we expect her, but inside Sally Mims. So far, solid offensive point out of half for San Francisco. Chen, center of the field, looking for a reset. Layup block.
That was awesome.
Turn over. It's a block by Aubrey Bishop, gives the Onyx the early break opportunity.
Falcons had a lot of looks going deep in that play. They became very cautious, which is great, but the red zone, it's too bad they turned it over.
Bishop now back with the disc near sideline, shooting deep. Chu in the area is able to do enough to prevent the catch from getting Greta Eisenbray.
Onyx tested that vertical game, sort of missing after their first score.
But Tajima gets it right back for them. Tajima run through block, but Chu. Potential strip call there. Onyx player trying to demonstrate that she thought she had it in her hands before Chu could come through with the block. Disc will indeed stay.
When there is a tip disc, you can definitely tell whether it was a strip or not. And if the disc sort of drops right to the ground, I would say that it was a strip. If it had flown off in a different trajectory, I would have called it a clean block.
Onyx getting back underway. Up the line throw, sliding grab. Up the line, works for them, back to back for the Oregon score. That's a break. That'll tie us up at 7-all.
Onyx definitely like to do that dink, jam it into the corner. They're very comfortable with it. They practice it, they warm up with it, and it's been bearing fruit.
Tajima and Bishop, two key players for the Onyx on that point. Tajima coming up with the run-through block to get it back for the Onyx. It is a quick break. We are tied up again. Already several lead changes. Already off to a good start in the second half, huh?
I like what I saw from the Falcons. It's figuring out the red zone. If they walked it in, I know they would be light on their feet and fired up. Let's see how they respond. Oregon went right down, confidently, smoothly, and punched it in. Let's see how the Falcons do on their turn.
Falcons offensive line back out on the field looking to rebound. There is still a bit of wind coming primarily from the near sideline towards the far sideline. Well, it's a bit of a roll to it. Falcons are content to let it roll. Juan putting it into play, centering to O'Connor.
Oregon back in their zone look.
Falcons not having too much trouble with it. Chen, Juan working, but Commentator's curse bounces off the hands of Megan Liu. Onyx with another chance to break. Says you go back-to-back breaks out of half. Collision. Steinfeld putting it deep and blocked. Potential discussion about a foul call back in the stack that would negate that block, but instead O'Connor jogs up to the far end zone, come put it back into play, centers to Chen.
Nice D. Let's see what the Falcons can do with that new energy found from that D. Onyx still in their zone look.
Chen dropping back into the handler space for the Falcons, working with Juan and O'Connor. O'Connor over the top towards the near sideline. That's Sheehy able to get it. And Liu, fantastic bib, but unable to dig the disc out. It goes right back to Oregon. Maybe moving a little bit too quick. Falcons get the chance once again. Chan and Liu going back and forth, far sideline, angled throw. Han Chen up the line, second goal of the game for the Falcons score. That gives them the 8-7 lead over Oregon.
That was beautiful. Falcons found themselves in space on both points. A little too quick on the breakaway, but they got it back on an errant throw and were able to punch it in, get back into space, right down the sideline. Beautiful flow.
Connie Chan and Megan Liu working the 1-2 back and forth between them on the far sideline before a nice angled throw to Han Chen made sure that there's no chance for anyone to get a block on that. After a couple of turns, Falcons able to stabilize, but so far still a back and forth game.
Oh, yes, definitely stabilize is a great question, great response. So let's see what happens. Let's see if the D-line can hold, respond, and go up by 2 for the Falcons.
Was floated out of bounds towards the far sideline, just about to half field. The wind, well, primarily near sideline to far sideline, is a bit windy left to right on your screen, and just a throw to nobody from the Onyx. Immediately McGee looks and immediately hand blocked by Steinfeld. That was incredibly quick, and already the Onyx with another opportunity across the field. Steinfeld able to come up with it. And McGee says, I got you right back, McGee and Steinfeld hand blocking each other. What an incredible point. We are having one incredible matchup that is between two outstanding players, Ali Steinfeld and Michelle McGee.
That was some weird ultimate frisbee bookends. I don't know what that was actually called, but that was pretty nice on McGee's part. The Falcons.
This is why we play these games, folks. This is why we have professional ultimate shows being put on by the Western Ultimate League. Steinfeld almost able to come up with it, puts it deep to Toth. Not quite in though, but it doesn't take long to get to Sheridan. That's a 2-goal advantage for the hometown San Francisco Falcons. They lead the Oregon Onyx 9-7. What a point.
Shoestring grab to preserve the possession and then punched it in for the score. It's nice when the Falcons get into space. It's beautiful. Up 2 points. Home cooking.
Gotta go back and see those blocks by Steinfeld on McGee, and the McGee right back hand block against Steinfeld. Those two players, long tenured players in the club ultimate scene, both plenty of successful wins, long runs at national championships to their credit. And y'all, if this is not a fun game to watch, I don't know what is. This is what you get with the Western Ultimate League. This is what you get with professional ultimate out in the West. Fun game, hometown, a little advantage so far, 9-7. Onyx coming out in a vertical stack. Tajima starting with the disc, able to find a reset. Falcons putting out a ton of pressure. Toth with the pressure on that one.
Falcons very fired up. You can just see an
an incredible grab by Sharon Lynn to O'Connor. That's another score, another break for San Francisco. They are rolling. An absolutely amazing grab from Sharon Lynn.
They are fired up. The Falcons are fired up. Great grabs, athleticism as expected. Disc caught in stride, end zone. They are fired up, the Falcons. So I turn and look. Let's see how the Onyx respond. Down 3. It's their turn. Let's see how they respond.
The Onyx just seeming flustered by the defensive pressure that San Francisco is able to apply, and then back the other way, Chang putting it into play before Han Chen rifles it to Sharon Lynn, who saves it with that diving grab to Jesse O'Connor for the score. That is our first 3-goal advantage of the game. San Francisco leading 10-7. Defensive line back out on the field trying to stifle the Onyx once again. Coming out in the zone. Zone so far proving effective for the Falcons, but Oregon able to work it inside. Tetlow all over that handler space for Oregon. So they move it from the far sideline towards the near sideline. Disc back in the hands of Tetlow. Inside to Runzo. Runzo able to find an option inside. That's Kimber Coles.
Onyx slicing and dicing.
Coles to the near sideline. Kristen Roberts looking for an option. Stall count rising, forced to put it up. Morgan Zejan comes up with it. Inside throws. Steinfeld excited about that one. Morgan able to get a point back, get a hold. Now trailed 10-8.
Dejan to Steinfeld. That was a nice combination. Time is running down. Good target to find.
The Onyx able to make it work. Falcons able to put on quite a bit of pressure with that zone defense, but Tetlow and company able to work it pretty comfortably, all things considered. Took a bit, but then they were able to break through with that beautiful inside throw. And then the final grab from Steinfeld. Steinfeld, number of blocks, number of goals and assists, already one of the standout players for this Onyx team like we expected.
Yes, indeed. This is a very skilled player.
Yeah, come on, what's that?
She's having a good time right now watching that.
Yeah.
So now the Onyx look lighter. They're making lunch plans. They're comparing recipes. They're all good and comfortable. Let's see how the Falcons go. Can they come
An
back?
immediate block run through by J.C. Jones. Incredible heads up play. Able to get there with the speed.
Falcons all over that D.
Tajima far sideline, swinging it back towards the center. Layup grab, save by Oregon. Inside, Tajima. That's a goal. That's an immediate break by Oregon. Tajima on the receiving end. 10-9 to San Francisco. They lead the Onyx.
Exciting point. Onyx are responding. You can see them firing up the energy. Those subtle miscues. If you can jump on it and secure the energy of that D, which Oregon did, makes a big difference.
Jones just absolutely flying down the field to get that run-through block. Not an issue And then the diving, saving grab from Greta Eisenbray. They're able to dig that out and then get the assist inside throw to Tajima. And we're back immediately to a 1-point game. This is back and forth, two very evenly matched teams. So we have just about 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Falcons getting the disc, moving again, far sideline. Liu has it, sliding grabs from Mims. Centering back to O'Connor. Far sideline. Chu with it inside to Liu. Falcons operating out of a bit of a horizontal stack. Chu to Chen. Layout attempt. Unable to be converted.
Nice grab.
Connor near sideline. Looking to reset. Swinnerton. Tajima, so much pressure, but Swinnerton able to hang on. Inside throw to Mims.
Onyx not giving up anything. Very tough D.
O'Connor, floaty throw inside. Chu and Liu both had opportunities at it, neither able to come up with the disc. And the Onyx have a chance to work it down the field to tie the game up at 10s. Near sideline, Huck going up. And able to grab it is Amanda Ulrich.
It was a beautiful find.
Ulrich again, up the line, towed not quite in by Turner. Turner near sideline end zone, looking for an option. Two players, hammer attempt, hand blocked by Han Chen. Chen, tall, long, lanky arms, able to get the block on the hammer.
Audience like that one. That was great. Great hold in the red zone for the Falcons.
Have another chance. Try and get the offensive point. Low throw again. Mims able to keep coming up with those sliding grabs. The cutter in the handler space for the time being, but resets it towards the far sideline to Chu. Chu opting to just put it deep, trying to get Chen to run under it. Chen able to do so. Bazzini, Chen, center of the field. Onyx trying to get back on defense, and it just bounces off of Liu, and that is another chance wasted. Timeout taken by Oregon. Both teams seem very happy to have the timeout taken. Take a breather. Incredible opportunities for both teams. So far, no one's been able to convert.
Coast to coast to coast. It was a good timeout, definitely. Tried to settle things down. A lot of athleticism, small micro pressures at the right time for the D, and it yields big results.
Wow, Ligger, did you see that hand block by Han Chen? Do you think her hand was
Fantastic hand block on the hammer by Han Chen, then goes deep for the Huck and able to reel it in. But again, as we've mentioned throughout the game, San Francisco just unable to finish their possessions off in the red zone. Those last throws, those last one or two throws, just coming up short, just getting blocked, and it's costing them.
You know, when you have a high stall count, your friend is the reset. And sometimes they're not looking on. Maybe the reset's not there. Maybe they're looking it off. They're looking forward. And if just we're comfortable with that swing to the break side, maybe it would yield some. On the points that they scored so easily, they took the time, their options, they ran through their progressions.
Out of the timeout, Oregon setting up in a vertical stack. Swinnerton on the mark.
Love this D.
Against Tetlow. Tetlow finding an outlet. Thinks about it, puts it deep. Steinfeld. McGee. Steinfeld able to run it out. That is a score. That is a break bring the game tied to 10-all. Minute 19 left in the third quarter, setting up for a fantastic finish.
That is the matchup I know the Onyx want to see. That size differential, that skill that comes with that size. You want to put the disc up and roll the dice on that one. Absolutely. That was a nice put. That was a beautiful put. I think anybody would have caught that one. It was just laid out perfectly.
McGee, an outstanding defender for San Francisco, not one to be easily beaten. Was mostly in position, but the throw floated just enough for Steinfeld to be able to run it down. McGee was hoping that she would have been in maybe a slightly better position if the wind had just taken the disc into her reach, but hey, we have at least another quarter and a minute to see McGee and Steinfeld go at it once again. Two incredible players. What is an absolutely fun, amazing tie game, 10-all.
Onyx showing Z again. They're committed to it.
Falcons seem unbothered for the time being. Want to know Connor, Lou, and Chu on the far sideline. Inside throw to Mims. Falcons with their O-line out on the field, trying to make it easy against the zone defense. Juan, center of the field, 10 yards out. Connor inside to Juan.
Falcons look really comfortable.
Far sideline, easy enough from Lou to O'Connor for the score. The zone defense not bothering San Francisco much at all. O'Connor with the score to take it to 11-10 advantage to San Francisco. 35 seconds left in this third quarter.
That was a beautiful point. Really comfortable, flowed. 35 seconds. Oregon seems to find themselves in these last points, last seconds of every quarter. Let's see what they learned from the first two.
Now's the time. Run and get them, folks. $5.
Oregon hoping to maintain possession through these last 35 seconds and ensure that they are the ones that have the discs at the end of the quarter when the time hits zeros. Again, we'll be repeating it again in the fourth quarter, and now team with the possession when clock hits zeros are able to maintain possession until they lose possession or they score.
Beautiful pull.
Oregon putting the disc back into play, and hey, there's that matchup, Steinfeld and McGee.
Like that.
Oh, and Lou. Layout attempt at the block, but uncontested foul. Chris Bullier with the disc as she puts the disc back into play.
Watch, they're going to launch Steinfeld. Look, Steinfeld, nope, there's a turn.
Not sure if that was a hand block or just great mark in general by Megan Liu to force the turnover. Falcons with a chance to get a break. Centering pass from Chen to O'Connor. Near sideline. Jacqueline Wen centering back to Chen.
Falcons in space.
Lynn on the far sideline, going up the line. Trying to hit Chen on the up the line pass, unable to do so, and it is the end of the third quarter. The Falcons maintaining their 1-point halftime advantage, currently leading the Onyx 11-10.
What are you hoping to see this next quarter?
Hopefully some great ultimate, as we've been seeing that Steinfeld-McGee matchup this quarter. Those standout blocks, back-to-back blocks against each other. Will continue to be a fun matchup to watch in the fourth quarter in a game that has only seen a lead of 3 at the most. 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Should be a fantastic finish. And I think, if I remember correctly, the Onyx should be starting on offense, which will give them the initial advantage to try and tie it back up.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be interesting. Onyx have the opportunity to tie it back up. I'm curious to see if this is going to be nip and tuck all the way to the end, or will a team be able to impose its will and open up, do a run?
It's found on all continents except Antarctica.
So far, when either team has been able to make a run, put together some back-to-back breaks, the other has pulled it back. It's just a matter of, in this game of runs, which team will be the last to make that run. Will it be the newcomers, the debutants, Oregon Onyx, or will it be the hometown San Francisco Falcons trying to notch their first win of the season?
Oh no, I'm gonna use both.
It's very funny looking at sort of posture and energy. Both teams look relaxed, know they're in it. You practice as a team for moments like this. Fourth quarter, 1 point, 2 points differential. You're playing for high-level ultimate. You like these moments. You like these situations.
Fourth quarter just about to get underway. Sky still threatening some weather, but so far has remained dry out on the field. Chilly conditions, not so chilly ultimate, some fast-paced, exciting ultimate, really fun to watch. Again, this is what you get with the Western Ultimate League, some fantastic plays, some amazing ultimate to watch at the professional level. Really, really great to be here for this week 2 of the 2022 Western Ultimate League season.
Win starting off the fourth quarter for the Falcons.
Goes up to 45. Oregon sets up. We got a
Oregon thinking about the huck to Steinfeld against McGee. McGee in position, able to put enough pressure for the block. And McGee wins the matchup that time. We thought it was going to come, and sure it did.
They are discussing
seems like a contested stall call. We'll keep the disc down the right side end zone for McGee to put the disc back into play after that fantastic pressure block against Steinfeld. Lynn inside the toe, center of the field, back to McGee.
nice grab.
When fantastic grab under pressure, far sideline to Toth, and then cuts up the line, but Toth throws too low. Onyx with an opportunity to get that hold to take us to a tie game, the 11-all.
Falcons are fired up. They're really playing a tight D. We like this matchup again.
And again, McGee able to establish position. The throws from the Onyx just coming up a bit too short to give Steinfeld any real advantage to go chase it down. And McGee, fantastic disc awareness, field awareness, able to get into position to deny those throws. Puts it up the line to an undercutting Toth. Towards the far sideline, lofty throw. McGee able to maintain concentration to keep the disc, sliding grab from Chang. Lin around, floated, caught. That's Toth for the score. That's a break for San Francisco. They have a 2-point lead, 12-10 over Oregon.
I have to say, the person that had their hand all over that point was McGee. Poise, 2 Ds deep, and came back and was making IO throws right down. That was a beautiful point. Falcons, nice look.
Falcons able to get the job done, able to get the break again. As you said, thanks in large part to the defense of McGee. Looks like she's walking back out onto the field for another San Francisco defensive point. Really trying to get her out there, it seems like, for her defensive capability, trying to shut down the Oregon offense as she's been able to do, especially in those matchups with Seinfeld. Maru putting the disc into play on the pole.
Falcons are fired up. Let's see if the Onyx can respond.
Tajima a bit stranded, but able to get the disc up the line towards that far sideline. Cutting up the line. Getting the disc back just in bounds. Tajima centering throw, gets it right back. Marked by Swinnerton. Rachel Egan and Tajima working in the backfield. Coming back for the disc is Maisha Tarvin.
Ace in space.
Far sideline, Tajima doing everything, going every other, and coming through for the grab is Becky Zip. Contested against her own teammate and against Applegate of the Falcons. Zip able to come through and catch it. Could have been a dangerous collision, but everyone able to come away uninjured, and Zip gets the score for the Onyx.
There was a collective gasp on that play. It looked like there was going to be a collision, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was a great catch. The Onyx are just down by one. This is exciting. Ultimate Frisbee. This is really nicely played.
Game continues to be close. We are just under 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, so still plenty of time for both teams to be able to make those trademark runs that we've seen in each of the other 3 quarters. Wind continues to be about where it's at, just a touch of wind coming from the near sideline to the far sideline. Maybe a touchdown wind as well for Oregon as they put the disc up on the pool. Falcons offense back out on the field looking to hold once again, take that lead back to 2.
Interesting junk look. Is it 4? It is 4. 4-person cup.
Person cup from the Onyx forces Falcons over to the near sideline, but Chen able to get out of the trap with that over-the-top throw. But O'Connor's right back on that far sideline. Opts for the behind reset to Anderson. Anderson wide to Chen. And a very zippy throw from Chen, just out of the reach of the very quick Megan Liu. The Onyx with a chance, just about past half field to get the break. Sun's starting to set here in Oakland, California. Setting up for a fun finish, that's for sure.
It was a nice defensive stop by the Onyx.
Tajima, hammer! Oh yeah! Claudia Tajima with the over-the-top throw to JC Jones. That's a score, that's a break for Oregon Onyx, and we are all tied at 12.
Knotted at 12. Very nice point on the Onyx. They really do not want or allow the Falcons to go backwards or the around. They definitely are loading up and really forcing heavily on the trap.
4-person zone look working wonders for them. Couple of different opportunities for the Falcons to get out of the cup that they are able to do. But in the end, a turnover from the generally reliable Chen gives them the opportunity, and Tajima, again, one of the stars we knew coming in for the Onyx, has proven it yet again here out on the pro field out in Oakland for the Onyx. Looking ahead for both of these teams as we have our tie game at 12 next week, week 3 in the Western Ultimate League. The Onyx will play their home game against the Los Angeles Astra, while the Falcons will wait until week 4 to play their next game at San Diego Superdome. Falcons once again having to work against the zone of Oregon, and once again trapped on the near sideline. Inside throw from Chen almost blocked. Swinnerton and Chu moving it quickly towards the far sideline for Lin. Chu, Lin, block from Oregon. Greta Eisenbray with the block on Chu to deny the throw to Lin. Eisenbray cutting back into the There's a Chu right back. Incredible.
Nice D.
Absolutely incredible block by Vivian Chu to get the disc right back. And Sharon Lin from Katie Swinnerton. That is a score for San Francisco. They lead 13-12. What a point.
Beautiful break point. Look, that layout hand block. Oh, that was the play of the game so far. That was an amazing play and clutch.
I thought Chu had slipped. I thought Chu had slipped and was not going to come up with it, and then from seemingly nowhere gets out for that amazing block.
That was awesome.
Chu's like, I see you on the block on me, but I'm going to get you right back. And wow, what a play. Yeah, arguably probably the play of the game, at least that we've seen so far. Vivian Chu. Amazing defensive play to get the disc back for San Francisco.
One of those ones I want to look in the Jumbotron for the replay, but we don't have access. It's beautiful feel. It does not have that nuance here. But nonetheless, it's etched in my mind. That was an amazing play.
Go back and watch it on YouTube. Thanks for watching this replay of fantastic game we have so far between the Oregon Onyx and the San Francisco Falcons, and some amazing matchups we had as well. Steinfeld able to get around of the mark of McGee. Cole is on the near sideline. No problem. Up the line to Bollier for the Oregon score. We're knotted up yet again at 13.
Boom, right down the field. A general prediction? I believe the Falcons are going to stay in zone for the rest. The Onyx get in the flow, and that's their strength. You can definitely hobble, slow down their O by throwing a zone at them. But it's the Falcons' turn on O. Let's see what happens.
Points rolling in thick and fast, and so is the fog, the classic Bay Area fog, rolling in over Oakland, rolling in over the hills, overlooking the field. A beautiful setting here in the San Francisco Bay Area for some absolutely amazing and fun to watch ultimate. San Francisco Falcons, the Oregon Onyx all tied up at 13. We are just past halfway through the fourth quarter. Should be a fun, frenetic finish. It's going to start here with the Falcons back on offense, facing off against yet another Oregon zony look.
Very flat cup. Oh, nice find.
Incredible inside throw from Chen. Up the line. Liu to Shi, and that's a score for the Falcons. It's 14-13. No problem against the zone for San Francisco.
The glow of this beautiful sunset definitely shined down on that point. That beautiful glow of how the Falcons work right through the zone for a score. Very nice.
Such a low release throw from Han Chen, able to get it under the defender's arms and then back up to her receiver for the score. Not quite for the score, but it certainly helped get through the zone. And she with the goal assist coming from Megan Liu. Falcons haven't quite been able to generate any much more separation than they've had 1-point margins largely in the third and fourth quarters. But still, they've been able to hold off the Onyx, who haven't quite been able to make the run that we saw in the first quarter from them.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm wondering about that. I don't know if it's jitters. It's great D on the Falcons. The Falcons are fired up. They are locking down. Nice break throw.
Onyx have it on the far sideline, but get it back to Steinfeld in the center of the field. Again, continuing the mark by McGee. Oh! Layout bid not there. Potential injury to the Oregon player.
Two things we want to know. Is it an injury, and did she catch the disc? And probably the player, she wants to know, did I catch the disc? Little shaken on the play.
That's the Onyx's Danny Runzo having to come off the field. Claudia Tajima coming onto the field. It will be a turnover, though, despite the valiant effort of Runzo. She's going to take a breather. Tajima's going to get on the mark in her place. McGee marked by Steinfeld. Inside throw to Toth.
Nice find.
When to McGee. Throw turned over a little bit. Maybe a gust of wind. Toth. Hey, look at that floaty throw up the line to Chang. Towards this near sideline. This back with McGee.
Falcons looking really comfortable in their O.
Toth finding the outlet. Liu has just been the do-it-all downfield player. Beautiful throw to O'Connor. Inside throw. Layout block by Zajon. Looks like it does generate a turn, but Zajon having to come off the field. That is two Oregon players having to go off with injuries in this 1 point.
That was tough. That was a tough one for the Falcons. They were in flow. They looked beautiful. Just that one slight miscue can be so critical.
When who's involved in that play with Zajon also going off. Vivian Chu taking her place. Quick grab by Tetlow to save it on the far sideline. Looking to get it back towards the center of the field. Up the line, Chu with the pressure. Oregon able to maintain possession, putting it deep. That's the same matchup. And McGee again wins the battle. Oregon maybe trying to force it a bit too much to Steinfeld with McGee constantly lurking. Lynn shooting deep. But the block is made by Aubrey Bishop. And it's a seesaw point. It's a seesaw game. Time is winding down.
Expect to see that matchup being challenged again with Michelle McGee.
There it is. Steinfeld coming under this time. Inside throw is behind Bishop. Falcons with an opportunity. Under 2.5 minutes left to play. Falcons holding a 1 point advantage. Timeout taken from the sideline. Falcons coaches say, hey, we know y'all need a break. We can get some fresh legs on and give ourselves a chance to take a 2-goal lead.
Good timeout. It's going to be interesting. Right now, the Falcons don't have the luxury of sort of running out the clock. And one of the interesting things about the Onyx, they've demonstrated that they can score quickly. If you're dealing with a team that has not been able to demonstrate that they can go deep, they can go upstairs, then that's a different approach. Onyx are very comfortable with shooting deep, and you've got the skill set to go up and pull it down. But Michelle McGee is going to take on all comers right now.
Certainly number of fun matchups to watch. We'll see who all ends up back out on the field as the teams will likely make a number of substitutions. The game is winding down. Again, a reminder of what these teams have coming up for them next week. Saturday, March 26th, Los Angeles Astro will be heading up to the Pacific Northwest to take on Oregon in the Onyx's very first home game in franchise history. While the Falcons will take a breather as they'll be halfway through their season after this game ends. They will travel down the coast to San Diego to take on Super Bloom in week 4 at the beginning of April. Both teams really hoping they can pull out a win here, generate some momentum heading into those 3rd and 4th week games.
Just over 2 minutes to play. Falcons are in flow. Oh, getting a little saucy.
Lynn with a fun pass inside to Connor, who puts it right back to Lynn on the near sideline, back to O'Connor. Those two going back and forth. Chen this time underneath Toth. Inside throw. Lynn unable to come up with it. Full extension layout. Not able to convert. Tajima will put it back into play for Oregon. Under 2 minutes to play.
They are going to launch somebody. Oh, no.
And another block. That's Chu again to deny it. To get the disc back for the Falcons. 1.5 minutes left. Only leading by 1, but if they get the goal here, you'd think that the 2-goal lead with just about 1 minute to go might be too much for Oregon to overcome, but that means the Falcons have to score first. Timeout taken again by San Francisco from the sideline. 1:15 left.
I like how this game is shaping up from a fan perspective. A lot of excitement. So, if you're in the huddle, put your coach's hat on. What would you be doing? How would you be planning this out if you're on the Falcons?
On the Falcons coaching staff, I say burn clock. Just keep resetting it. I don't care. They're about half field at this point. If I was Malka Anderson in the huddle, I might say, I don't care if we have to reset it 2 to 5 yards backwards every time. We are burning out this clock. We are not giving Oregon a chance to score at all.
I would add to that exactly, but I would also add that if the clock is winding down, you got to punt and put the disc far back in the end zone and force the Onyx to go the full field. But yes, you're burning clock. And also for Oregon, so you're coaching Oregon, what would be your approach?
You got to get the block. If you don't get the block, then you cannot score. And as simple as that sounds, in a game where whoever has possession at the end of the 4th quarter ends the game, either with a score or a loss of possession. The Falcons can, if they are able to maintain possession for 75 seconds, can win the game 14-13, even if they do not score.
So I would think also to add to that is if there's a turn, the Onyx have to attack deep quickly, so that gives them enough time to create a stop.
Up the line, near sideline. Falcons able to work it. O'Connor up the line to Chen. Clearly not heeding my advice on what to do in this situation. Inside throw to McGee, but a stall is called. Players just now being made aware of that. Contested stall, not called a stall by the observer. Disc will stay in the hands of McGee on the end zone line.
Solid catch.
Near sideline, still needs a reset though. Lynn goes straight back. Leaping, grabbing, scoring. Sharon Lynn with the goal from Michelle McGee. That's 15-13. Hometown San Francisco Falcons lead the Oregon Onyx.
It was a beautiful point. Technically, it was a beautiful point. Very poised. A lot of games die on that 2-inch mark, and it was a great way to set up the play.
Did you know that
Don't blow by to a jump in for the score. That was nice.
I did not know that. Good thing.
2-point game. 39 seconds left.
In this case, if you're the Onyx, you absolutely need to score and score quickly, and then force a turn before the clock hits zeros for the Falcons. for this game, Raps just want to offer a few words of thanks to all the volunteers who came out to Fremont High School in Oakland to help support the Western Ultimate League. If there is a Western Ultimate League team near you, whether in the San Francisco Bay Area or elsewhere across the Western United States, we encourage you to reach out, volunteer. Teams will be always open to the help, as well as game sponsors Discraft, Lightspeed, and Breakmark. Onyx putting the disc back into play. Steinfeld, this time marked by Lynn, on the far sideline, up the line to Zajon. Back to Steinfeld. Onyx have to score, and it floats out of bounds. Steinfeld unable to connect with Tajima. Chen putting the disc back into play. Falcons just need to burn clock here. O'Connor, center of the field. Lin coming under, opting for the reset to Chen. Across the field to Lin. Players continue to play on, despite the victory being assured for the Falcons at this point.
It would be nice
Chen,
to see the Falcons inflow all the way down. Let's see what happens.
When across to Chen, inside, touchy throw for the score. That is game, that is set, that is match. Chen down the line for the Falcons. That is the final score. That is 16-13. The San Francisco Falcons get their first win of the season over the Oregon Onyx, who take a loss in their first ever game, but still a fun one. A 3-goal margin. I don't think quite reflects just simply how close this game was throughout the whole time of it, right?
Well, yes, no, it does not. And, well, actually, you know, you're over/under. You're very close, by the way, that we talked about. That said, that last point, the last series of points by the Falcons were definitely how the Falcons need to play for the rest of the season to be in the conversation for a championship. And I liked how they closed out. The Onyx, I mean, being the coaches, I would thought that last point they would have taken a deep shot quicker. They have the horses to do it, to go up and come down with a big throw. Other than that, I like what they look like, and I'm sure they're going to be very pleased with how they perform.
15835. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just great execution at the end by the Falcons, and Alex just falling short, but I think they will be in contention. They have 5 more games to play for Oregon. They will be in contention, I think, even with this early loss. As for the Falcons, it has to feel good to finally get a win after going 0-2 last week. They'll celebrate. They'll take a half-season mark break for them, while the Onyx will be right back at it with their own home opener next week as they welcome the Los Angeles Astronauts to Oregon.
It feels really great, especially winning at home. I think we've had a pretty quick season so far, and it's really just getting us to work together really well and really figuring out how each other plays, since we are from a lot of different teams. So it was really fun to win, work out our systems, and win in front of a crowd that has all of our friends and family.
I want to thank the fans for coming out today. We have one more home game, but I really, really appreciate everyone showing up. It means so much to us, and thank you so much for supporting Women's Ultimate.
Thank you for joining us for this Week 2 game in the Western Ultimate League between the San Francisco Falcons and the Oregon Onyx. I have been Jenna Weiner in the booth with Lawrence McKendall. Again, want to thank today's sponsors, Discraft, Lightspeed, and Breakmark. If you want to get Western Ultimate League merch, go to breakmark.com/western-ultimate-league to get your own Onyx and Falcons jerseys and gear to help to continue to support these teams. Also want to thank community partners, Bay Area Disc Association and the Oakland Spiders, and as well as all of the volunteers who helped make this game possible. Your final 16-13 San Francisco Falcons take their first win of the season over the Oregon Onyx. We'll see you next week for week 3 of the Western Ultimate League.
Have a good evening. It's been a pleasure.